Hello, and welcome to You Don't Know Jack. We are the outsiders looking in. My name is Hubert Maitland.
And I'm Randall Horton.
And today, Chris is having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we are going to go ahead and start, and hopefully by the time that we get through probably a couple minutes of the segments, he'll join in here real quick. First of all, how was your day, Randy? Hey, you doing all right?
Yeah. You know, it was a good day. It was a good day. I had some rough spots here and now, you know what I'm saying, for us, you know, this work activities. But overall, it got better as I punched the clock.
There you go.
and you know, this basically just taking a break and realizing it's not work anymore. It's time to go home and do family stuff. So other than that, man, I'm good. I'm glad to be back. You know, I apologize not being able to be available the other day. So I know you guys.
Last week.
Yeah, you guys did a very good job. So, but I'm back. Glad to be back. Overall, what about yourself, man? You know, how was your day, man?
I mean, busy. I'm busy, but you know, like you said, once you hit the clock, you leave all work stuff at work.
Yeah.
Come home and in my case, I came home and did more work, but it's okay. We'll figure this out.
Not me. I came in and got in that recliner, feet up, neck back. We are done here.
Yeah, that's what. As soon as this is over, that's what I'm gonna do by about 9:30. So, but you know how we do it here. Everybody has an opinion when it comes to sports, so we just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the uncertainty of sports and entertainment around the world. Because you know our slogan: I don't know, and you don't know, Jack. We're going to get into a little bit of a shout out segment. It's not going to be long because, you know, it's the time, the climate that we are in. You know, we got to find some solace and some joy in some things. And
yes.
So I just wanted to shout out Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach. I believe it's his third year as the 49ers head coach.
Yes.
And he's already got a 6-year extension. I didn't see any of the numbers on that because they didn't report the numbers just yet. It's newly agreed upon today. But yeah, I mean, for a guy that went all the way to the Super Bowl his third season, I mean, that is spectacular. I mean, what can you say about that?
No, it's not a whole lot you can say about that, man, other than ching ching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is a 6-year contract extension.
Yes.
And I mean, he's done a great job out there San Francisco. So, I mean, he's still a young coach. He's been to the Super Bowl twice?
Twice. Once with
the
Falcons. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid.
He lost twice, so you just let you know he lost twice.
I'm trying to avoid from going in on him right now. I'm trying to focus on him getting his money. So, you know what? Can I just take a step back?
Go ahead, just do you right now. This is supposed to be a shout out, but I know you gotta get something off your chest. Go ahead,
Kyle, man, bro. Kudos, get your money, okay? I'm cool with that. Anybody that's gonna get their money, please get it. 6 years, I don't know what the numbers are. You're a rich man, but you did let me down. I mean, it is things in that game that to this day, Falcon fans are just in shock. They still can't believe that we was up 28-3, and we lost. We flat out just got beat in the second half. One play could have changed that whole situation. One field goal.
That's it.
And it didn't happen. But okay, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on that because flashbacks are starting to set into my heart, and I forgot. We're in a pandemic right now, so I might want to walk to the ATL. I mean, without the ATL, but you see what I'm saying? Just forget it. I'm all over the place.
Hey, what does your T-shirt say? Together we fall. Is that what it says?
Oh no, it does not. Together we rise.
I mean, that's not what happened in that Super Bowl. You fell together. All y'all fell together. So
yeah, we did. But shout out to Cal, to Shanahan, man. Get your money. 6 years. I'm pretty sure your bank account is. The Benjamins are probably giving each other's high five right now. So
quick prediction. Do you think they're going to make the Super Bowl next year?
For the Niners? No.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. It's hard to repeat the success that you had the previous year. Each team is different. Mm-hmm. The mentality of the players are different. The challenges that a team faces is different. So with this pandemic in place and the way that everything has been thrown off, and that's the NFL say they trying to get on track. They're trying to stay on schedule. But right now, it's a mental thing. And I'm pretty sure once the conditioning starts and all that, it's going to become a physical thing. Mm-hmm. So I really don't see the 49ers repeating that success. They will be successful, but they won't reach the Super Bowl.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be as successful as they were. I mean, take it from a team in the Eagles that won the Super Bowl,
and the Falcons who lost the Super Bowl.
I mean, yes, and the Panthers and everybody else. I mean, except for the Patriots, who have seemingly have gone there every single year, even if they win or lose.
They got Superman back there. You can't do nothing with 12, man. It's a mental thing when Tom Brady's back there, bro. I don't get teams. You do all of this studying, all of this game planning for one guy, and he is no different. He's showing you the playbook hand over hand, and you still cannot stop this cat. And you allow him to get to this level of success, and now every time any team faces Tom Brady, it becomes a mental thing. So,
I mean,
I'm just saying.
When you said facing that guy, I thought of Bill Belichick, but I mean that's just me personally. I don't want to give.
He's just a coach, man. He's just a coach, man.
Yeah,
he ain't out there suiting up.
He is a genius, just like Andy Reid's a genius, just like I was gonna say Kyle, but we're not gonna go there.
Kyle just got paid. That's all that is.
That's all it is.
But look, let me say this right here real quick. I have to look this up, and maybe you guys, can look it up as well. What is the statistic? What is the statistics of a coach getting paid that kind of money and not repeating as Super Bowl contenders? I want to go back and look up that stat. I think that's a very important stat. All these coaches getting paid, but
I mean, you could look at Sean McVay. Is a prime example of it. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl. I think he got paid somewhere before that, or maybe after that. I'm not sure, but he hasn't sniffed the Super Bowl since.
And that's true. But what about Belichick? He has. I have not seen not one contract extension out there for Belichick at all, and he constantly get there.
you know the Patriots, they don't air their laundry at all in any facet unless they're cheating. So they're not going to tell you what, who got what or how much they got or this, that. Robert Kraft runs his team like a tight ship. You're
Hey,
not going to know
hey,
anything
hey, hey, Hubert. Watch the word cheating. I almost got us in trouble a couple of episodes ago. So
Hey, it
we
is
can't
well
we
documented
can't
that that
use
team
that
cheated
word.
a couple times. It is well documented allegedly well documented. That's all I got to say. But I'm taking 3 of those wins away. That's all I'm saying. Taking all three of those wins away.
I
But
don't see it. I don't see it. But kudos to Kyle. Shout out, Kyle. Do your thing, man. Much success. Get your money, man. Get your money. Get your money.
Exactly.
Well, give me some of that money as well. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm telling you, Mike Noble might need some of that money ASAP because the things that went on at FSU. Yeah, that was quite interesting. Well, a couple of weeks ago, when the whole George Floyd situation happened, um, there are a number of organizations that came out and decided to make statements and this, that, and the other. Mike Noble was one of the guys. He's the new Florida State head coach, newly branded Florida State head coach. He hasn't even had a season under his belt yet, and there's controversy. So there's a statement that he made about it, basically going on to say that he when the whole thing happened, he reached out to the players individually, every player individually, to open up a conversation about what was going on during that time. And I guess every syllable and every word counts because the players, especially one, Marvin Wilson, he's a defensive tackle, one of the star defensive tackles on the team, called him out on that. Basically said he didn't send every player an individualized message. He sent every player a generic message talking about what was going on, and basically catching Mike in a lie. And so that took off steam. The team kind of backed Marvin, and it it became bigger than it really should have been, in my opinion. But go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, but at the end of the day, Mike, had a conversation with his team. The athletic director sat down with the team itself, and again, they hashed it out. A good story about the players and the leadership coming together, making sure that they understand each other, where each other is coming from. There was, they had a unity walk. I believe it was this past weekend.
Okay.
To kind of get to be together as a team, which was important to see because I mean, in this day and age, in this climate, we have differences of opinions, especially with coming with police brutality and all the racism and stuff that's happening. There's not a lot of coming together. You can agree to disagree. I mean, there is a right and a wrong when it comes to racism. There's no I just don't agree. There's a right and a wrong, but for the most part, unity is what's needed. Even though we don't agree on something, we can still be human, and that's kind of what happened. And Mike, he let out a statement basically saying how proud he was that Marvin was able to use his platform to speak out and to kind of come together and to uh, just get together and hash the thing out. And I have a lot of respect for that. I have a lot of respect for Mike doing that. I have a lot of respect for the players to come together, have this discussion, and work it out as a team.
Yeah, and I think in a case like that, like you said, unity is the greatest thing right now for all of those players.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, for someone to speak out on a platform as big as this, a situation as big as this, like I said, there is a right and a wrong for us racism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things that we place ourselves in when you are a human being, just how can I put it? If you're a person that's outspoken,
Mm-hmm.
uh, using your platform is great. How you use it is the second act behind that situation. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Uh, and some of the things that we say, well, once it come out and it leaves our mouth, and it's like a smoking gun. Once that's gone, it's hard to bring those words back. You see what I'm saying? If that makes
Right.
sense. It's
Yeah.
hard to get those back. So you have to be careful how you present yourself and how you act and how you carry yourself. And I think in this situation with your Florida State Seminoles, that whole team was able to, come together, figure things out, be better, not only as a team, but as individuals. And you have to have the backing of the university. You have to have backing of individuals who understand, that's willing to listen to
Yes. That's
to
a
your
key word.
voice. And if you're not willing to listen, people turn a blind eye to deaf ear to situations. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's when those words of frustration come out. And then once they come out, you can't get those back because what's said is said.
Right.
Now, apologizing and forgiving is going to be the key to all of this. And I'm pretty sure, um, having many discussions amongst themselves, they found a way to, unite and say, you know what, um, football is football. Right now, we're talking about, you know, us as not only as players but individuals. Um, like I said, it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. You have to uh, put yourself in position to be a good advocate to others. There's a saying is reach one, teach one, um, and that should be the movement. And if we ever can figure that out, things will take its in due time. Things are going to take its course. Things are going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we just have to take a step back and look through. Um, just look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, what direction are we really going in? What are we trying to do? Do we really have the backing of certain individuals? Our voices are being heard. And like I said, out there at Florida State, I'm glad those players were able to, come together, voice their opinion, uh, get it out there, and then now they're able to put it behind them.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think the key word of the day, we like to, have the key words of the day
Yeah,
now. Last week was unprecedented. I think the key word of the day would be uncomfortable because there are a lot of uncomfortable conversations being had
it is.
in
It
uh
is.
in sports right now. A lot of uncomfortable in a time where we want sports to be comfortable, to be an escape. You're not escaping from these problems because the problems that affect the black communities are the problems that affect black athletes as well. You
Yeah.
mean the majority of athletes in sports are black, certain sports I should say. And a lot of the sports that we watch, like football, you
Right.
have a lot of black athletes, so you can expect a lot of these uh, um, protests. You can expect a lot of these reactions to what's happening in the world. today. So I mean, even we talked about Florida State again. The same, almost a similar thing happened in Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State running back Chuba, or I guess is how you say it, Hubbard. I'm very terrible with names. I am not a Chris Brown. I will say that. I will. From Florida, from Oklahoma State, he basically. I apologize. I don't remember when this happened. I think this happened late last week, I believe.
Yes.
Probably like Thursday or Friday, one of the two. But basically, he was saying that he saw a picture of his head coach, Mike Gundy.
Gundy wearing an OAN shirt.
Yeah, wearing OAN, basically meaning One American News Network, OANN shirt. Basically, I had no idea what OANN was. I mean, I literally had to do some research on that. And basically, it's a network. It's a network that is. I looked up the network on a site called Media Bias factcheck.com. Basically, it's a website that helps to determine where the network lies as far as their bias, as far as where they lie on the spectrum as the political beliefs and whatnot.
Right.
And so OANN landed on the very far right. So it's very, very ultra conservative of a network. And those ultra conservative networks, like ultra liberal networks, I mean, you can't go too far one way or the other. I mean, it's you got to have some balance, especially nowadays in politics. You have to have a little bit of balance in between. You don't have to ride the fence, as they say, but
Right.
you know what you stand for, but be able to be flexible in certain beliefs.
And what's crazy, I mean to cut you off there. What's crazy is it is a shame, in this day and time that the things we wear, the things we say, everything is going to be outlawed at this point. You're not going to be able to wear certain shirts. You're not going to be able to do certain things. You ain't going to be able to be in certain areas. It's just the way the world is moving in. That direction, things are going to change at some point, and you're going to have to figure out how to position yourself better as a person. This Mike Gundy, wearing that shirt, he had to know, putting that shirt on, what type of backlash that he was going to get.
Right.
That's anybody. It doesn't matter if it was Mike Gundy, whether it was me, you, etc. If we leave our home or take a picture in our home or put anything on social media or just any type of platform itself, somebody's going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see it. And they might not respond right then and there because they're going to do their research. And when they find out that what you stand for or whatever platform that you're trying to present things in, people are going to see it. And they're going to want to know why you're doing it. You better be able to answer those questions. You need to see, the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And the feedback that you're going to get. And a lot of people are not ready for that. And I think in this situation, I don't think Mike Gundy was prepared for the backlash that he was going to get from putting that shirt on. And I have not seen a statement from him about that, but we'll see what happens moving forward.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily agree that Hubbard, the star running back, chose to do that publicly.
Right.
Again, we go about and we talk about how we resolve conflicts and this, that, and the other. I mean, a simple conversation probably would have fixed the situation between him and his head coach. Now, I don't
Right.
know if he actually went and actually did that. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying that I feel like in this situation, just like with Mike at FSU, a simple conversation would have probably turned the narrative around. You wouldn't have had all this controversy, all this baggage that these organizations now have going into the season. Um, and so I don't necessarily agree that Hubbard did that publicly.
Right.
But I mean, then again, if there's no change being had, um, and there's no working around the situation, of course, then you have to take it to another level, and that's where bringing the public in to get some backlash. I agree with that 100%. If he's just if you have that conversation and he just kind of like figuratively spits in your face,
Right.
okay, then yes, we're gonna have problems. I'm gonna get other people involved. We're gonna nip this in the bud because it's wrong. But a simple conversation, if he's like, you know what, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm sorry that it offended you, and you can even talk about, is wearing that shirt offensive? Like and to me, it didn't seem offensive to me. I didn't, like I said, I didn't even know what OANN really was. And
Right.
even now, doing the research and knowing what it is, it still doesn't offend me. Like it's just a news network. I mean,
Right.
they're a far right network. Of course, they believe in Trump. They believe in conservative values. They believe in a lot of the stuff that the Confederacy and all that stuff. Uh, it's that's their beliefs.
Yes.
And you're entitled to believe what you want. That
Hmm.
shouldn't be offensive to me. I should understand where you stand. I can still not agree with you, and if you choose to use that in a negative light, then we can agree to part ways and coexist in a separate plane. But it shouldn't be offensive to me that you believe, that you show your political beliefs in some way, shape, or form in a shirt like that, unless you're being overtly racist.
Hmm.
It's not, that shouldn't be an offensive thing, in my
No,
opinion.
no, it shouldn't be. But like I said, the backlash from all of that, he should have known that.
Yeah.
That's this bottom line. He should have known that. And you represent. We forget we are human, but at the same time, you are in a position where you are teaching young people a certain type of way of living. You're trying to um, guide them.
Hmm.
This is not the right way to do it. And I know whatever statement he was putting out there with that shirt, it put him in position to do things a little bit different.
Yeah,
You know,
that is true.
right,
But again, at the end of the day, like I said last week, I know you weren't a part of that conversation with me and Chris. I stated, the Drew Brees the Drew Brees
right,
controversy. How he said what he said and then apologized. Again, I don't know. I said last week I am very skeptical when people make an apology. Doesn't mean I don't accept the apology. It just
right,
means I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical of the intent of the apology. If you're apologizing because you got called out, that's not really an intentional apology. That means you're trying to save face. Uh, and you've already had that mindset going on. You will have that mindset going forward. I mean,
hmm,
unless there's some action to back up what you're saying. Again, this is
right,
like Roger Goodell in the NFL. Roger Goodell made a statement about the NFL apologizing to players and apologizing to George Floyd and all the people that were using their platform to protest. Yet I have yet to hear any of the NFL owners of these teams come out and say anything. So that apology doesn't mean anything. It may mean Roger Goodell is sorry that these things are going on, but the NFL doesn't feel the same way. So
yeah, and that is true, and that's a good statement. And now everybody is looking at Kaepernick as this guy of wrongdoing in the beginning.
mm-hmm.
Now they're looking at him like, okay, this is what he was protesting, from the very beginning. And so now I read an article earlier today that the NFL should sign him. Some teams should sign him because of all this, the whole thing with George Floyd and the whole protesting in the very beginning. So, like you said, I have not yet seen any owners myself either come out and address any of these issues. Roger Goodell, he's like I said,
he's employed by the owners. So
I was just going to say that he is employed by them.
Which you could see him giving his resignation in probably in the next couple of months. Because like I said, if the NFL wanted to show that they were sorry, I don't necessarily agree with, like I said last week, I don't necessarily agree with Colin Kaepernick getting a job unless he earns it. Mm-hmm. That is, you get a job by what you put on the field. If you work out and you show that you are NFL ready, mm-hmm. Then by all means. But if he's sluggish, he doesn't make the right reads, even in one-on-ones or 7-on-7s or whatever, whatever situation you put him in, he doesn't do well. He does not deserve a job just because of what he did.
Right, and here's the key. I'm gonna hit you with this right here, and I'm just giving you an honest opinion, and mm-hmm. I'm going to retract a little bit myself. Mm-hmm. Remember, I said before that you asked me the question. You and Chris asked me the question: would Kaepernick ever play another down in the league? Mm-hmm. And I went on the limb and said, no, absolutely not. I don't think he would, because of the way that he went about it, mm-hmm. the way that the NFL saw it, his PR stunt that he did, a while back, and mm-hmm. now here we are now today. So my question is to you: do you still, now to piggyback off what I said, do mm-hmm. you think the NFL at this point right now should give Kaepernick an opportunity to play football? Like literally, we can't worry about what he did in the beginning. Mm-hmm. We're talking about right now. Would you as an owner be in position to give him a job right now?
As an owner, I would basically.
Well. Let me say this: mm-hmm. as an owner, and the way players feel. 2-part questions to that. 1, would you give him a job right now? 2, how you think the players will receive him?
So yeah, I as far as Colin is concerned, if I'm an owner, I think the players are on board with what Colin said because of what happened to George Floyd. I think since everybody's seeing the what he said in his statement is true, more and more players are going to embrace Colin when he comes back. If I'm an owner, I want to see what he does on the field. I want to see how well he plays. I want to see what he looks like physically. I have no problem if I'm an owner personally. I have no problems with what he said off the field because guess what? I'm African American, so it applies to me as well. So I wouldn't have a problem with doing it, but you know how many African American owners there are in the league? Actually, none. So at the end of the day, if there was a black owner in the league, he would have had a job. That's my personal opinion. He would have had a job. But if like you said, but it's my opinion. I would definitely have considered him to be one of the either a quarterback or backup quarterback for my team. That is personally my opinion.
So what I was about to say is Chris, I gave Hubert a 2-part question. And the question was, because of the whole thing, the whole protest name with Colin Kaepernick, what he was doing in the beginning, and this whole PR stunt, and then everything that led to right now that's happening today. So my question was to him. He answered it. So I want your opinion on it, just real quick.
Yeah.
Two-part question is, one, I said a while back that I didn't think Kaepernick would play another down in the league. Now, what's happening right now, you as an owner, would you give Kaepernick an opportunity right now? And secondly, how would the players, if he is employed back, how would the players receive him?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think as far as the players are concerned, a lot of players want to see Kaepernick in the league. They know. I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but J.J. Watt actually came out and was like the protest, the national anthem protest, was not about the flag. And so when you start having players of um, that aren't minorities actually speaking up for Kaepernick and his cause, that's when you start to see that, the NFL, at least the Players Association, is on one page. So I think players are going to love it. There was talk about Kaepernick being a part of the Seattle Seahawks in like 2017 or 2018.
Yes,
they were going to bring
17.
him back.
Yes.
And that was, in the midst of everything, blowing up with him kneeling and so on and so forth. So I think you are going to see Kaepernick in the league. The biggest question is where is he at, right? Is he ready to play? Is he ready to potentially be a backup? Because part of the issue was he wanted big money to be a starter, and a lot of people didn't know if he still had it in him because of the I think there was an injury or two.
Yeah, I think it was knee injury or something like that.
Yeah, as well as he had a just kind of declining. Whether or not that was because of the injuries, we don't really know for sure. But his play, if you look at his stats after the Super Bowl that he lost to the Ravens, yeah, his stats were going down. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see if he can play. I know he can be a backup. Let's be clear about that.
Right.
He can be a backup in this league. There's some backups in the league where it's like, oh, wait a minute, Kaepernick could definitely be a backup. But I think it's about fit. I think it's about what Kaepernick is willing to sacrifice. He's talked about sacrificing tons and tons of money. But at this point, it may be a little more about ego. You may have to sit behind somebody that you think you're better than
and that's true.
Your foot back in the league. So, yeah, I think the road for Kaepernick coming back after Roger Goodell apologized a couple weeks ago for getting it wrong with police brutality, although I think they only got it partially wrong. They did make some significant steps with the initiative that Malcolm Jenkins started. I think it's going to happen. Kaepernick is going to be back. If Kaepernick wants it, he will be back in the league.
Yes, like I said, it's up to him, And Hugo was he was making a little joke a little while back. He said he think Roger Goodell gonna hand in his resignation in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? but see, I was gonna follow that up by saying Roger got a lot of money on the table. I don't think he gonna walk away from a lot of that money that's on the table. I think he gonna ride this one out, and then he gonna be like, you know what? We are done here.
Yep.
Have at it. I've made my $100 million. You guys have a good day.
Well, I mean, again,
then they can hire me. Serious. I guess I don't know. They can hire me as commissioner.
I mean, again,
$44 million. Let's go.
That's it. I mean, Roger Goodell is employed by the owners, so he works for them. So he has to appease them more than he has to appease the players.
Right.
But then again, all of them have to appease the players because without players, there's no getting paid. So it's all key. So you got to keep the players happy, but you also got to keep the owners happy. And like I said, zero black owners means there's not going to be a lot of give on that side.
Yeah, so, I predict it's going to be a black owner one day. So,
I mean, I would love for it to be a healthy mix of all. Because I mean, you even look at the coaches. You even look at the coach discrepancy in NFL. It's still very one-sided. I mean, there's
Yeah.
not a lot of black coaches in the NFL, not a lot of there are no black owners, but the majority of the players are black. So,
well, and that's true too. But see, if you want an honest opinion too, though, Hubert and Chris, if a black owner was to be in position, he has to come in with the right intentions. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not a fact that because he's black and he's coming in with a bullseye on his back, he has to come in with good intentions of making sure this organization is going to be put in position to be successful.
Yes.
And he can't just cross the T's and dot the I's over here in this area and then have X's and O's over here in this area. You see what I'm saying? So his intentions needs to be on point. Understanding why he took the job, what direction he wants the team to go in, the personnel that he's going to have to surround himself with, the individuals that he bring on board that's going to have that same mentality. Everybody can't be one-sided. You can't have a one-way street. This is a two-way street here. And if not, revenue is going to be lost. Players ain't going to want to play. You're going to have different standards and different guidelines and a whole lot of challenges. So once we get past all the racism, the challenges, the concept of why we voicing our opinions, we can get past those three. And the bonus part behind all of those three is seeing better days ahead. And that's going to be the most important thing. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if all of that from 1 through 3 in the bonus, if you don't start with 1 and 2 and connect these 3 before you get to the bonus, none of that's going to matter, man. None of that's going to matter. Your voice is just going to be a voice, and ain't nobody trying to hear that. And so you're going to have so many platforms with higher people with a lot of success coming out and saying more. You haven't had a whole lot of celebrities come out and speak on this because Dave Chappelle, I read a comment about him. He did a comedy special, I think 2 weeks ago or last week or something like that. And they asked him, and they asked him about the George Floyd situation, and people was asking him about his opinion, and he felt like he didn't have to give an opinion. He didn't have to voice his opinion because he was already there. It was already enough people there to voice their opinion. So now the world, people just need to respond in a way where things need to be heard and change needs to be happening. So that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, to bring it back around to Hubbard and Oklahoma State, like I said, I'm glad, like with the Florida State controversy there, I'm glad that they worked it out because they have worked it out. I mean, there was confirmed video that they actually talked it out, they hugged it out, and they're back in good standings. Again, like I said, apologies are fleeting unless there is action, so justifiable action. So now the eyes are on Gundy to make sure that he lives up to his apology and make sure he acts accordingly. The same thing with Hubbard. It's a two-way street, like you said, Randy. It's a two-way street. So, but at the end of the day, it's all about coming back together at the end of the day and learning how to be human with each other. And if we can't do that, it doesn't matter if we agree or disagree. It's
not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. It doesn't
not
matter
at all.
You can forget it. So
exactly. So speaking of another person that's had controversy. Well, I mean, I can't say this is controversy. It's not really controversy. It got steam because of what's going on in the world today. But one of the top players in the I guess basketball world, high school basketball. Top recruited in the nation for I believe 2021. I think it is.
Yes.
Basically, Mikey Williams is considering bypassing Duke, bypassing Kansas, bypassing Kentucky, bypassing the Wildcats, Gonzaga, Villanova. What did I miss? Any? Georgetown.
A whole lot of schools. A whole lot of schools.
All these storied universities that are storied in basketball, and he's thinking about going to a HBCU, which is a historically black college or university, for his college playing career. What message does that send to the rest of the league, to the world, to sports in general?
Chris, you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah. I'll go first on this one. I don't know. That's a very interesting thing because of the current climate in the NCAA. Everybody is sick of the NCAA in general.
That's true. I can attest to that.
Yeah. So, they're trying to make changes. They're feeling the heat. Florida just passed a state law that says that college athletes are allowed to make money off of their likeness, their image, so on and so forth, and that's going into effect next year, 2021. So there's a road to actually getting paid when you're a college athlete, or at least being able to make money off of who you are and what you do, which any college, normal college student can do. So there's that avenue now for NCAA big time schools. There's also the G League, which I think is going to be completely different. The NBA is really going to take the G League to another level, and it's going to give the players coming out of high school, basketball players coming out of high school, a real opportunity to show their talent, showcase their talent, actually get paid for their time, continue to develop and be ready for the NBA when the time comes, and not have to deal with the NCAA. And if you don't want to go to school, if you're not really somebody that wants a 4-year degree and that educational environment, maybe there's something that's a little more practical, a little more hands-on, dealing with branding and business and marketing and so on and so forth. So I think the NBA G League is going to be a great option.
Yeah.
Now to the question of the HBCU, the HBCU, I think it's a great thing for him to consider, Randy. But at the same time, when you have potentially other options where you can get paid and it's simple, straightforward, I think it's a little too late. I wish we had seen this, years ago. I wish HBCUs were getting some of the top African American talents or minority talents, or for that matter, any top basketball talent. I wish HBCUs were really on the map when it came to the basketball and football arena, collegiate arena.
Well, I mean, it's never a bad time to start, in my opinion. I feel like, and this is one of the analysts that I followed. He made I forget his name, but he's basically saying that, and I'll get that quote and I'll put it in, but he basically said that, he's basically said that if one goes, then the others will follow, in a nutshell. So, I mean, if you see a guy that's a top talent go to a school that's not well known, be successful at that school, go on to get a contract in the NFL or in the NBA or NFL and play at a high level, how many other African Americans will follow suit? And it takes like all these TikTok dances that we have. It only takes one to start a trend. It takes one to start a trend. Once you start that trend, everything else falls into place. Everybody's gonna want to do it. So I mean, I don't know how long that trend will last, because I mean, you see things like this go in and out all the time. There was like bell bottom jeans back in the day. They had bell bottoms. We don't see them no more, but they're starting to come back. So trends come
Nothing
and
is
go.
new under the sun.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it only takes one person to start it, and if he starts it, who knows how many people go to the FAMUs, to the Texas A&M, or all these other schools that are
Bethune-Cookman
HBCUs.
College.
Exactly, Howard or Morehouse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a lot of athletes follow suit, which to me isn't a bad thing. I mean, if you want to affect change, I mean, the best thing to do is take your money and go somewhere else.
Right.
And that's the best way to affect change. Don't put your money. I mean, yes, you earn a scholarship or whatever, but I mean, just take your money. Could be talent. Right now, in this instance is talent. Take your talent somewhere else, make that school money, and it'll affect change.
Yeah, and you know what? This what's his name? Mikey Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Man, a lot of offers on the table. It's a lot to swallow at this point in time. It's a lot to swallow at this point in time, and with him, passed up a lot of offers. It's easy for him to make this decision moving forward, based off all of the issues and so forth. Now he's a top recruit going to Duke. Now, one reason why I feel that he wouldn't go to Duke is because of the turmoil that's happening with Zion Williamson right now. Now, I saw something that was very interesting, and they say Duke been doing this for years. And Chris, I'm going to follow your suit as well about the NCAA. Zion went from a regular small home to a $950,000 home while playing at Duke. People trying to figure out how did that happen. You know what I'm saying? How did you go from living in the hood to living in Beverly Hills?
Easy. It's
that
easy.
Quick. And they're trying to figure out, did he take improper benefits? So this whole thing with Zion is about to come out full circle. He has to answer these questions at some point. He's already being sued for a breach of contract. So that's one reason why this young man probably didn't want to go there, and then all these other schools. And then going to a black college. Like you said, he started the trend, a lot of people are going to follow suit. And it should be great for these small colleges and these colleges that don't get the funding as these big schools. They don't get the notoriety unless they get to the tournament. But you see a John Morant. He came from Murray State.
Murray State.
That dude flying all over the court like he's Superman, dunking and doing what he's doing, became a top recruit, second pick. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Kudos to him if he chooses to go to all black college. Maybe he'll start the trend. To follow Chris's situation with the NCAA, a young man that I was just looking up, a top recruit. His name is Deshaun Nix. He was skipping college and going straight to the G League. He signed. I think he signed.
Option.
He signed a big contract. I think it was $500,000 that he signed off the bat. He took the money because he needed to take care of his family, and it was I take it, if he goes to the G League, they're going to monitor his ability, his plan, just him building a brand, being marketed. I can see him playing 1 year and then getting to the NBA. Same thing with the guy that played for Memphis, big boy. I can't think of his name. 7-foot guy.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
So he's supposed to be a top 5 recruit. So, man, the NCAA is in trouble. They're about to lose athletes in so many ways. It's going to be terrible, and they're going to be losing a whole lot of money. And you're going to see this. if the NBA start dumping money behind the G League like that, man, whew, Lord have mercy. It's gonna be for real.
And see, that's why.
James Wiseman was his name from Memphis.
Yeah, James Wiseman. That dude there, I watched him a couple of games. Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh, the league. Oh my goodness. When he gets there, buddy, that dude's gonna be a problem.
And see, that's why I'm so saddened to see leagues like the XFL and the AAF leagues go by the wayside, because the NBA has a pathway to go to the NBA besides going to college.
Right.
Now, the traditional belief is go to college, get your education, and move forward. I mean,
right.
We're starting to we see some people being successful at that, but you have people like plumbers, you have electricians, you have those guys with other routes. Learned a trade, went to trade school, learned a trade, then go to college and doing just fine. So at the end of the day, college is not the end all be all.
No.
But at the end of as far as that's concerned, if you want to play in a professional sport, there should be some different avenues than just one way. That's why the NCAA is monopolized on all of this stuff. They monopolize on making money off of athletes, monopolize on doing this. You have to check them, and checking them. G League has done that very well in checking them in basketball. I hope some other teams, hopefully hockey has something that'll come in, baseball, all these other organizations that can kind of pop up and help have a pathway to their organization professionally.
Well, baseball, really and truthfully, baseball is the model with their farm system. Being able to get drafted at 18 and directly go into to a minor league team that's affiliated with a major league team. Like that is kind of the feeding system that you'd like to see, where the player gets a chance to get paid, they get a chance to develop, they get a chance to get some competition in. And it's not necessarily as restricted as the NCAA formula or format with all of the schools involved. I just think it's in some ways it's about freedom, and I don't think the NCAA game will suffer. Yeah, the talent won't be as high, but for years NCAA fans have said it's all about the school. Well, if it's all about the school, then you'll still watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, when I hear a lot of these NFL fans, or they talk a lot of noise about, oh, well, if this kneeling continues to happen, we're not watching the NFL. We're not watching the games. Yes, you will. You will. Trust me. Yeah. By the second quarter, you'll be like, what's going on? I need to see what the score is. And then you'll get sucked right back in, which is why I'm just like, the NFL is not going to lose out, because they're a money-making machine. Football sells itself. And so at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with what Mikey Williams wants to do. I think it'll if it's what is good for him and what he feels in his heart that he needs to do, more power to him. Go to an HBCU. And better the community that way. If not, I mean, I remember back in the day when Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, even LeBron James, before they made that rule, came straight out of high school.
There you go.
Straight into the NBA. So they used to have that. They used to have that. But speaking of the NBA, what do y'all think about Kyrie Irving's statement that he made, or not statement? I guess he did make a statement, calling for all the players in the NBA to unite and sit out the restart of the 2021 season. Basically, after they had conversations with league officials and the Players Association, ownership, and all this stuff, he came back out and said, maybe we shouldn't play this year, sit out the rest of this year. What are y'all thoughts about that?
Well, I totally disagree with him, on sitting out. I think that it wouldn't be beneficial to do that, considering. Well, let me back up. Because in the beginning, I think it was a call, a player's call. What I said about 2 weeks ago, that was made with all the players trying to figure out, do we want to play? How we want to get back started. I think a lot of players agree. Basketball is needed. We need to get back to playing basketball. Now, all of a sudden, the league starts up. We're moving it to Orlando. Now, all of a sudden, all these guidelines and policies and rules now in place. That's where he's getting this from. And I understand where he's coming from. I totally get it. I do. He wants everybody to be safe. He wants because we all have families. Okay, this is a man's game. Everybody's is an importance. It doesn't matter what you play for, a bad team to a good team. There's a brotherhood in the league, and so I think that the reason why I say I disagree with him because this virus thing is not going to go away. It's bad enough the economy is shut down. We're trying to open it up slowly. We're trying to implement a lot of different things. You sit out, I mean, which is fine. I mean, a lot of players need that money, and a lot of them don't have to have that money. So I think a lot of players want to play because they want to get that money.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Especially the younger guys that's on a 10-day contract or that's only making $300,000 sitting at the very end of the bench that ain't played in about 19 games, and this is one opportunity to even play on a decent team, and especially the playoffs. And it's hard to get to the playoffs. So I somewhat disagree with him on that. I think basketball, these players need to get back on the court, despite fans or not. At this point, they want to play. They want to show that because of this whole thing that's happening, it needs some excitement somewhere. It needs to be generated somewhere. And what's crazy is you playing in Orlando, Florida, at Walt Disney World, and the parks are getting ready to open up. You know how many fans is flocking down there right now? You know how much money that's in Orlando right now? Man, hey, it's a good time for the NBA. And I'm sorry, Kyrie, man. It's a slight disagreement with you on that, man. I want to see basketball back. Any sports right now at this point. Put things in place. Let's get everybody back on the field, man, and generate some excitement and get our minds off of a lot of different things.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I don't know. I don't know if I agree or disagree with Kyrie personally because I see the fact that I mean I'm assuming, but from what he says is a safety issue.
Yes.
Also, I can see what it can be from a protesting issue. As far as but the NBA has done some things as far as donating money and all this stuff to racism and all this. A lot of leagues are doing it too, and there a lot of players. I mean, you can protest however you like. Basically, in the NBA, there's no I would say restriction on what you really can do. I mean, you had LeBron wearing the "I Can't Breathe" T-shirts. You have Dwayne Wade wearing the same thing. They protested at the ESPYS, and they had they really had no backlash or no, I should say, consequences from the league at that point. Like NFL will give you some consequences, but at the end of the day, it's a weird time to be even thinking about doing that. I mean, I kind of think that the virus, it I feel like it could go away, depending on how well we manage it, how well we stick to certain guidelines. Kind of like Ebola, kind of like SARS, kind of like MARS, kind of like all those other ones that
Yeah.
heard about.
Well, yeah,
Or
man.
8-10
We
years
need a
ago.
vaccine quick, man. We need a vaccine quick.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like viruses, I mean, even the flu comes around every year, but you don't know if even though somebody gets the flu doesn't mean you're actually going to get the flu. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is not a serious situation. I'm just saying that I feel like the coronavirus, if we manage it the right way, it can be basically taken care of. And so I know I kind of in my mind I kind of agree with Kyrie. I'm like, why don't we just take a break from the year? Like I said, I know we've all talked about this maybe a couple months ago, how we were like, maybe we should just cancel sports for the rest of the year, just give it a break, just make sure everybody's quarantined, everybody takes care of their families, takes care of themselves, get this virus under control, come back in 2021 ready to get back to action. I think that's the best course of action to take personally. But I mean, then again, like you said, a lot of people will lose money. A lot of players will go into debt because, I mean, they have $1 trillion houses and $1 billion cars.
And still got a mortgage. How do you have a mortgage on a $20 million house?
So exactly. So I mean that's gonna be a problem.
You lease it.
Yeah.
I mean, just go find you. Hey, I mean to cut you off, but go find you some land. I don't know, 10 acres. There's plenty of land out there. Build you a $400,000 home, live in it. It's paid for. It's paid for. But no. You want a $20 million yachts, $20 million homes, and you leasing, paying $300,000 a month.
Well, I mean, you could tell Jerry Jones the same thing. I don't think he bought that mega yacht that's $350 million. I don't think he bought that on one dime. I think he's making payments on that mug.
He ain't making payments on that.
No, he's making payments on that.
He is making payments. I would even, man. You know how many people and people you can feed with that money?
Exactly. Well, I mean, this is play money. It's play money for them.
I can't wait till we get to the NBA, the Major League Baseball, because them cats fighting over money right now. How often they gonna ever play?
Yeah,
that's a really good transition. I mean, let's just get into that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is you, Chris.
They fight over paper right now. Pay me or don't play at all.
This is incredibly surprising. I really thought for sure that the MLB players would come to some sort of agreement, or excuse me, I guess the owners and the Players Association would come to some sort of agreement. But now it's at this point, the last I've heard, the players have basically walked away from the table and said, all right, owners, tell us when we need a report, and we'll either, I guess, report or not report, because the players are standing firm that they want 100% of the money, 100% of their salary for whatever amount of games that they play.
Yeah,
they don't. Obviously their contracts are going to be prorated. You know, you get paid per game. So if you don't play 182 games, is it 182, 162?
182, yes.
182. That's too much, man.
That's too many games. See, that's the problem.
Games, man.
But yeah, so if you don't play that many games, then obviously you're not going to get paid as much. I think players understand that, but then when you try to, on top of that, reduce the salary by another 25% or so, so you're only getting 75% of your salary. That's where they're just like, we don't know if we want to. I can't live off of
$1 million a year. I'm sorry, I just can't. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean,
my dog costs that much. I'm sorry.
Where's your heart, man? I mean, like I said, you can't make it off $1 million. I can make it off $1 million for writing for quite a bit of, I mean, like I said, I will build me a $200,000 home, have everything I want in that home, take the other $800,000, throw it in the bank. $1 a day pays my way, and then and keep my regular job. But no, these cats, they want the whole thing. They want the whole thing. And
I will say this. I will say this. If I have $1 million one year, and then I make $3 million the next year, I'm sorry, but that $1 million ain't gonna cover that next year. I would have to keep getting about $4 million, $6 million.
you got to keep making it last, though. You got to invest it, bro.
I agree with you. I agree.
Go into real estate. Build you a 500-unit apartment complex.
No, I get what you're saying.
1,300. Keep your money coming in, man.
I agree with you. I'm just saying,
flip houses.
Once you taste that, it's like tasting. Let's see, if somebody that never had sugar tasted donuts for the first time and loved it, you think they're gonna go back to not eating sugar? They're gonna want more donuts.
but you don't have to be greedy eating them donuts. Basically, I've been a sugar coma.
Bet money.
I ain't going out like that. You think I want to go out like that?
I don't either. I'm just saying. That's what happens when you have a taste of what it feels like to have whatever you want at your fingertips. That's why all these owners are billionaires and still pushing for more money. They don't need more money. They just know that, okay, if I don't have the money that I need, that I want, if I'm not pushing for more, then that means, guess what? I'm not gonna get what I want. And in this case, Jerry Jones wanted a mega yacht. That's $300 million. He's got to push for more money. I mean,
well, I think to piggyback on Chris said, the Major League have lost their minds. Those players, that's greed, man. That's greed. They gave you a 72.
I'm actually for the players in this one.
Me too.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm not,
Get your money. Get your money.
Listen. You know what? I said that to Kyle Shanahan, get your money. But Kyle Shanahan, he ain't sitting out either. He ain't complaining about sitting out. These cats are trying to sit out and mad because they can't get all of their money. 75% of your check ain't gonna kill you.
Okay, so let me
ask you hurt you.
Let me ask you this, there.
Ain't gonna hurt you, man.
Let me ask you this, then, Randy. If an owner is up in his press box, getting 100% of his whatever he decides to get from his salary, but he's only deciding to give the players 75% of their salary, you think that's fair? You think that should happen?
It depends on where your heart is, man. Like I said.
See, that's not what I asked. I asked, is fair?
Where heart is, man.
Don't dance around it. I said, is that fair for the owner to be paying 75%, but he's getting 100% of his salary?
Hey, listen, he's the owner. He's the boss. You can't walk in your boss's office. You cannot walk in your boss's office and tell him, dang it, I want 100% of my money because Hubert is making $25 more than me. No, he's gonna tell you.
You're right. I can't do that. But
get back to work.
I can walk out if I know somebody else is not gonna come in my. I mean,
okay.
If the whole union,
walk out, Burger King got a spot for you on fries and drinks.
And guess what? The MLB will not make any money because what we say, if the players ain't playing, the owners ain't making money either because they make money off of what the players' likeness, the revenue, ticket sales, everything else that comes from the players.
But listen though, I hear what you're saying. The issue that we talk about is that okay, the players want 100% of their salaries despite how many games they play.
That's what they deserve because they signed that contract.
But I understand that, man. But you got to look at it from you're not playing a full season. That's what the argument is. You're not playing a full season.
Randy, that's not what they're asking for. That's not what they're asking for. They're asking for
100%
of salary
on their salary. So
per
that means
game. Game.
So that means what's the boy? Bryce Harper. He signed that big $300 million deal.
Yes.
Guess what?
He's okay with not making.
He don't have the right to say, "Let me sit out."
Yes, he does. Because if
you don't have the right, everybody don't have a bank account with $10 million in it, bro.
Did the organization not sign the same contract that he did, saying that guess what? If he plays, we pay him that much. If I play, then that's how much. That's how much. It's a give and take. So if they sign the same contract that Bryce Harper did, Bryce Harper is entitled to every cent that he signed up for. It don't matter. It don't matter if they're playing 10 games or they may be playing 182 games. That's what they signed up for.
So the only pushback I'll give to you, Hubert, on that point is the fact that they're, as an organization, they're going to be losing a ton of money, right? Those ticket sales are not everything. Obviously, it's the media deals, it's the merchandising, it's all of that stuff. But people coming through the gates and watching the team play, that is a big piece of the money that gets spread around for the organization.
Right.
So I can understand why they would want the players to take a pay cut. But again, this has to be a pay cut for the whole organization. The players didn't do anything wrong. Yes. The owners didn't do anything wrong. We're dealing with a crazy pandemic that we didn't see coming.
We're dealing with greed. You know what I'm saying?
From which side, Randy? Randy's talking like he's about to own a team tomorrow. What team? What team?
I don't know if I want to play on Randy's squad now. I just don't. I don't.
Hey, man, listen.
I want to be in that front office.
Listen. Instead of them cats fighting for dollars and cents, I'm sitting up here with a Superman sign behind me and Ashley Furniture chest. They got
quality.
They get high quality. Are you playing for the Reds?
Hey, them cats got marble chests in there. They got their names tatted all over the walls. You can't even spill ice cream in there. And
they deserved every bit of that.
Man, you don't deserve all that money, man. Take what you can. Be thankful that you blessed enough to wake up every single day and play that game. Play that game.
If it's my talent, if they're making money off my talent, I'm getting paid my due. I don't care. That is what it is. I don't care if you in a pandemic. I don't care if you in an epidemic. I don't care if you in a whatever demic you want to be in.
I'm a pandemic.
I don't care what you can be in. You can be in I don't know, but I'm gonna get my due because I signed a piece of paper that said because look, I mean, you can put it like, I mean, this is gonna be a far-fetched. I'm gonna put this far-fetched. I'm gonna throw it out there. But basically, you know, I signed a paper that said I was married. Okay, so does that mean during a pandemic?
We got the hot topic coming up, folks.
Sorry, guys. You asking me
listen,
to be too greedy about this. I think I should just be able to do what I want. You know what I'm saying?
So that being said, you signed that marriage paper. So does that give you the right to sleep in the next room during the pandemic?
Let's reel this in.
Actually,
let's reel this.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
Oh, man.
Does not give you the right.
I'm gonna say both of you married guys from going too far. Okay, just don't go too far.
I think I don't think I'm gonna let my wife listen to this one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, seriously. Listen, it's not a perfect situation for either side of the equation. Both parties in the negotiations. Obviously, you have to compromise. You have to sacrifice somewhere. We'll see what happens. MLB, I just really and truly think out of all the leagues, this is the one league that may not come back because they've done it before. The owners have done it before. I think the players have a very strong union. So this is the one league that, you know, we may not see
until
this epic fall sports
because you know
that we're about to have.
Yeah, because you know it's
good because it's greed. Greed. I hope it does not come back this year because it's greed.
Wow, now you're hoping failure on the team. Wow,
I just kid.
I cannot be whatever Randy's team owns, whatever Randy owns, every team Randy owns, I cannot be on that team. I'm sorry. I'm just walk out the door. I can't be on Randy's team.
Hey, I'm just kidding, man. Listen, man. I hope everything works out at Major League Baseball, man. It's a hard situation. You know, those cats are blessed to play the game they play. I'm not a contract writer. I don't know what's in their clause. I don't know what they're saying. But just play the game, man. Just take what you can, get on the field, and play the game, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
Greed.
All right.
Lie, cheat, and
Well,
steal.
we'll move on to
Hey,
the
you
hot
can't
topic.
you can't rob Peter to pay Paul. You can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? You
We're
gotta.
moving on to the hot topic. So the biggest news of the week, I believe, now weekend towards the week, NASCAR has officially banned the Confederate flag from being anywhere associated with anything to do with NASCAR. So cars, clothing, apparel, flags, anything. They are because of the climate that we're in. They have done away with all of that because they deemed it not unifying the I guess the public or whatever they made a statement saying the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing and welcoming an inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industries. Bringing people together with around a love for racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sports special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties. So, what do you think about that? First of all, do you think that the motives? I guess I should say, do you think that the motives are pure? I mean, we can't judge, I guess, the motives, but we can at least talk about them. Do you think that the motives are pure for what the climate is going on now? Do you think that it was a push to be in solidarity with what's going on, or do you think it's just another trend that they're trying to follow? I'm not trying to be negative or cynical. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, if I had to say, I would say both. I know it's hard. I know it's kind of crazy to choose between the two, with the trend and then what everybody is trying to get so many states to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough one, and I think a lot of things are going to change. This is the crazy part about it. Everything around us is changing. It's been changing, but now it's like for real changing. And you have what's his name,
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace. So shout out to him. I had an opportunity to play catching football, play catch and throw with him in Daytona about a year ago. I really enjoyed that. So he's really a good guy. But anyway, I think it's hard to say, man. But NASCAR is going to follow suit with everybody else in line to make sure that they don't support a lot of the things that's happening right now. And that's why these flags are coming down. They're banning them across, every track. They're going to follow suit. They want a safe environment. They want the fans to be able to come out and just relax, be comfortable at a track, not having to worry about all of the extra that's going on around us. And so NASCAR is doing the right thing in their minds to see it full circle. And so we just got to keep praying that at some point that while we're making these changes, we are changing.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? That we are changing for the better. You have to have better days ahead of us to see the work itself. And I'm hoping that NASCAR would continue to educate their drivers, continue to put things out there to where they see that the policy that they have in place is real. And so it's in due time, man. You know, I think everybody will at some point follow suit.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I just kind of want to echo what Randy said. He said it well. It's been about time. I was just kind of doing some research. Magic Johnson, the basketball player, who actually had a role in NASCAR. He started in 2004 as part of the diversity program. He was one of the ambassadors for their diversity program. NASCAR realized that they have an issue trying to find an audience outside of kind of a stereotypical racing family. Um, one that may be from a Confederate state, formerly Confederate state, and maybe had those heritage roots, right? You got the General Lee, right? Dukes of Hazzard. You got a big old Confederate flag on the General Lee,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just kind of the culture of NASCAR. And so Magic Johnson was tasked with trying to promote the sport of racing to different communities. And it's just I was like, I remember reading about this. I remember seeing this. This was a big deal. I was like, how long ago really was that? So 2004, 16 years ago is when he started. And now finally, with the only black driver in NASCAR, Bubba Wallace, we get some real change. We get some real action by the sport. Now, I think you mentioned that this may be a last ditch effort because NASCAR is not doing very well as far as ratings are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Still a very passionate fan base.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always have a place, but they won't be at the peak of their um, I guess viewership, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it that. They won't be at the top of the mountain as they were in probably the early 2000s. So I think it's needed. You can argue, oh, the flag means this to me, the flag means that to another person, but you really want to try to unify or unite all people. And I think we saw that with Alvin Kamara,
Mm-hmm.
attending that NASCAR race, buying a bunch of Bubba Wallace merch. There are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of African Americans that enjoy racing, but
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't feel comfortable in the infield of a stadium because the infield of the stadium just has a lot of things that may not be very welcoming
Right.
to a lot of people. So Alvin Kamara, I kind of felt like Alvin Kamara. I was excited again. I really enjoy NASCAR when it comes to the strategy of it, the data that you can collect about when should somebody pit. There's a real a strong strategy or just kind of it's a thinking's man game. It's almost like chess, right? Because
Right.
a lot of people make fun of it. You're just going around in a circle. You're not really doing a ton of stuff. But it is the sport. You have to be trained for it. You've got to be. Your endurance has to be great. Your reflexes have to be on point. And you have to communicate with your teammates, right? Your teammates are telling you where your opponent is, how far behind you are from the leader, so on and so forth. So
I think that is the biggest intangible in any sport.
yeah,
It's communication.
communication. There you go. It's great. It's great to see. I think um, I'm interested to see how Black people and other minorities react to the change. I don't know if Black people are just going to immediately start going to NASCAR races and cheering for certain people, but I think there are a lot of Black people that would watch NASCAR more or go to an event more if they felt like it wasn't a me versus them
Mm-hmm.
scenario or situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
we'll see.
I agree with what you said. I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what you said about the diversity thing. Um, if you look at the leagues that are bringing in the most revenue, there's one common theme out of all of that.
Mm.
It's diversity.
Yep.
Baseball. I mean, you've got all sorts of diversities in that. I mean, there's not one real. I mean, if you had to pick a majority, to me, a little while it was a Hispanic population that was kind of leading it a little bit because that's all you heard. But as far as baseball, that's probably the most diverse sport out there, in my opinion.
Yeah. You even got the international flavor with all the pitchers from the Asian countries, Japan.
Exactly. It's very. I mean, what is the next one? Basketball, because there's so many international players, like you said, that come in and they just take over the league. So,
well, I was gonna say soccer. I would have thought soccer would be your second choice in that. I think soccer has a lot of diversity in that.
I think
soccer's in its own little world, though.
Yeah, soccer's kind of the outlier.
Yeah, but right now the way that soccer has grown and the money that they've generated so much billion-dollar revenue in that.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, there's a large fan base in soccer. There's a large following in soccer, and that is head. I mean, we're talking worldwide.
Right.
We're talking worldwide. But as far as like here in the United States, there's those are the two big ones. I mean, football is right up there next to it. I mean, football is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's diverse per se. I mean, there's a lot of diversity in there. I mean, there's clearly a predominant race in football as far as the players is concerned. But I mean, for the most part, it's more diverse than NASCAR.
Right.
So I mean, there's a theme to leagues that are doing very, very well, successful as diversity, because like you said, Chris, Black families, Hispanic families, Asian families don't mind going to a baseball game. They're like, oh, that's the most fun thing. That's what I hear all the time. Oh, to me, baseball can be quite boring. It can be quite boring.
Have you been to a game in person though?
I have not. That's what I'm saying.
I
have not been to a game in person.
Well,
I've only watched baseball on TV.
Can't do that.
I've been to several baseball games, but over the years, I found myself leaving by the 8th inning because I try to beat traffic.
Well, you see, and that's the thing I'm saying.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a long game.
Yeah.
It's not really boring, per se.
Well, watching it on TV, I will say is boring. I will say that it's kind of boring as opposed to going to a basketball game. Like I go to a basketball game, I enjoy it when I go there. I enjoy it when I watch it on TV. Football the same way. I can go to a college football game. I can watch the same team on TV 10 minutes later. Like it's that exciting. Baseball, like I said, I have only talked to people like Chris, yourself, and Randy and all the, there's a couple other people that I've talked to, and they're like, that's the most fun thing to go to because it's baseball. I'm like,
it is, man.
I'm like, how is that possible? Because I watch it, I'm like, nothing really happens until somebody hits the ball over the stands and whatnot, and somebody catches it and runs the bases. I'm like, unless you get a double, a play or whatever, like it's not really that basically interesting to me. But at the end of the day, I still have to experience the game.
You have to go to a good game, man. You just games like that, you got to go to a very good game to get the excitement of it. You can't just. It's not like football where you can just pick a sorry game and go to. It's like basketball, pick a sorry game and go to. Baseball, you actually have to pick a decent game if you're going to get the impact and the excitement from. You have to go to a Braves versus Mets, so you got to go to a New York Yankees versus Boston or something like that. You have to go to those types of games to say, okay, I really dig baseball. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to no Braves versus the Marlins. What? You can't do that.
Hey, don't be messing with my Marlins now.
Marlins, what? They
World Series champs 2003.
Thank you.
They stole that one, man.
Tell them.
It's
Tell
like
me.
Billy.
I mean, I didn't know they won this World Series in 2003. I'm just saying. I'm figuring off of what Chris said. So
Look at you, man.
you know,
Anything in Florida with him, man. I
that's
mean,
it.
it
Florida,
could be
Philadelphia. That's it.
it could be a lawnmower competition going on in Florida.
Actually,
You know what I'm
have you not
saying?
seen those
I've
lawnmower
seen it.
competitions on
I've seen
ESPN?
it, man. I've seen it.
Bruh.
I've seen it. You know, so they're still gonna have dump truck competition. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's gonna be a whole lot of things being shown. I right now I'm just all over the place. I don't know, Jack. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just
Hey,
telling you what I see on
me
ESPN.
either. It looks like the Marlins won in 1997, not 2003. 97.
Oh, even worse. Okay, whatever. We can go with it. 97. Let's go.
Oh, just kidding. I was right. 2003. They won twice.
See,
What?
You play in my heart now.
Why do they won twice?
Let's go. We have 2 championships. 2.
You're not even a Marlins fan. Quit lying, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got a jersey or a hat. You ain't got a cup. You know what I'm saying? So I know you lying.
Hey, we got 2. Okay, 2.
we you hear that, Randy? We got 2.
We got 2. We got 2.
What about Florida State?
We got 3. Let's go.
How many Bama got?
Who cares?
A decade. We got a decade. Yeah.
I mean, y'all claim winning the championship when nobody was playing football. So it's whatever.
Well, how many does Ray Cicerelli have? 0.
Great. Yeah,
I want to bring this back really quick. Yeah. I know we're on a roll. We're talking about baseball, which is good. We don't talk enough baseball, but I do want to bring this back really quick to the NASCAR conversation. One of the people that came out immediately after Bubba Wallace put, hashtag Black Lives Matter on his car, people did not like that. And then I think maybe a day or 2 later, that's when NASCAR made the decision to ban the Confederate flag. Mm-hmm. And Ray Cicerelli was very, very angry. He threatened to retire. He was not happy with their
I think he did retire. Well, he's going to retire at the end of the year.
At the end of the season, yeah. He said at the end of the season he's going to retire. So I got to say, NASCAR, whoever's running the Twitter, kudos to them. They had one of the greatest comebacks. I'll see if I can find it in a second. But
I think
we
should have a tweet Hall of Fame, Twitter Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't see leagues roast their own players or contractors, but this time it was rough. Like I said, Ray Cicerelli posted on his Twitter as well as on his Facebook about why he decided to leave, why he will be quitting racing. Man, I can't find this NASCAR comeback. Where is this thing? Basically, the comeback was NASCAR said that they had to go to their like records and figure out who the guy was because they had forgotten about him because he didn't win anything. So, I mean, that's a bold take. That's a very bold take.
I mean, you could go ahead and run it down. 18 races he participated in. That's not a lot. He had 1 top 10 finish. That's and 0 wins, like you said. So, I mean, is NASCAR really gonna miss him though? Like,
you know what, man? He's. I don't know. I hope you got some investments lined up somewhere. That's all I can tell him. If you're willing to quit like that, buddy, let me know what kind of pot of gold you sitting in, so I can do the same thing. Because if you're willing to walk away like that, you know what I'm saying, based off
whatever,
man, well, you got something. You got a pot of gold somewhere.
Well, yeah, he knows he can do something else and still be successful, and he has that opportunity. But I do want to say that there are reports that his family has been attacked and abused. I hope nobody
That
is.
is not okay.
Yeah,
That
no,
is
no,
not
Yeah.
no
okay.
matter what his stance is, it's not okay to attack him and his family physically.
Right.
If you
Or
have a problem
verbally.
with him,
Or verbally. I mean,
yeah, you shouldn't attack him verbally,
let's
but
be clear.
you
You
can
can
debate him.
right. Like we've done. You can roast his comments. You can roast his. Obviously his record hasn't lived up to the fact that he's got the standing in NASCAR that he thinks he has.
Right.
That's you can do that with any player. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not you can pull up any player and say, I mean, Philip Rivers. If the Philip Rivers decided to leave for some reason, and for something we think is not the wisest,
Yes.
he's got 0 Super Bowls. I
Well,
mean,
he,
he's
yeah, but the thing
no,
about Philip Rivers walking away, his bank account is full.
that's true. But at the end
Trust
of the
me,
day,
he's full. His bank account is not full. I'll guarantee you that.
but
You know what I'm saying?
the point
I don't
is,
know.
we
I'm
not
saying.
we it's never okay to attack physically or verbally somebody for what they believe in. Not even if
And
we
in
don't
particular, his family. Like, if you're going
exactly.
after
Yeah.
his family like that, unless they said something on,
Even if
they
they
put
did say
themselves
anything,
out
there
there.
is a freedom of speech
Yeah. It
that
doesn't
they
give you the
have.
right.
And it's like we go back to the Confederate flag thing.
Yeah.
You have a freedom of speech to you can fly the Confederate flag in your yard. You can fly it on your personal car. You can fly it wherever you want to. That is your personal property. You own that. You are free to do what you want. NASCAR, if they wanted to be inclusive, they did what they had to do to be inclusive. And so I would respect Ray if he wants to fly all over his house, and I would respect NASCAR for taking it down. Now, if he's trying to push that on me and saying, oh, okay, this is this, I don't respect that. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you are free to believe what you want, to say what you want, you can within reason to say what you want, and all that. So yeah, it's not okay to attack anybody, especially their family.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
okay.
tough, man. A tough call there. So, prayers up for him, man. You just have to keep him lifted up, and hopefully everything will be okay. And like I said, this is a learning experience for all of us. So,
Exactly. Chris, you wanna plug us?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's let everybody know we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. Make sure you go over there, click subscribe, watch our videos, tell your friends, hit that like button as well. That always helps us attract a little more attention. If you want to interact, please follow us at YDKJ Podcast on Twitter, and at YDKJ Podcast on Instagram as well. If you want to email the show, ydkjpodcast@gmail.com is how you do that. Please check out our blogs. We are starting up some more blogs as the major epic sports season starts to begin. It's going to be 6 or 7 months of just go go go. Tons of
Mm-hmm.
sports trying to finish up whatever is left of their season, whatever they'll be able to do. So follow us there, ydkjpodcast.com. And I think that's about it for my plugs. You guys got anything else that you want to plug? Hugh, you got a blog post. Plug that.
I do have a blog post. I forgot what the name of it is. I really did. It's basically it's a mix of race in sports. Basically, it's talking about my experience in it, and I tie it into what's going on in the world today. Kind of like viewing it through my eyes, and try to tie it into what professional athletes and these activists are trying to do nowadays. So check it out. It's I think it's
The
an interesting read.
Politics of Sports, Part
Yes,
1.
That is it.
Politics of sports.
I will be doing a little mini series on that as well. As there is a lot to talk about when it comes to racing.
A lot.
So,
yeah.
So check us out. Check out the podcast or check out the blog, and hope you guys learn something.
Yes.
Because we're not going after entertainment per se. We're going after something where we can leave something behind.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Entertain and educate. That's what it's all about. Randy, we got to get together and eventually do this Last Dance blog post series as well.
Okay.
Once I actually finish the Last Dance, but
oh man,
after that we'll talk about it. I'm very. Oh, go ahead.
I have to start the Last Dance.
But it's all right. If I'm being totally honest, I
don't understand it. It's gonna be end of the year before you guys even watch it. Michael Jordan been on.
It's June what? June 16th. Yeah, I'll be done by the end of the month before basketball starts. We'll put it that way. Before basketball starts, I'll be good to go. I really want to kind of pick your brain, Randy, because I was a little younger in those days, so I only remember a little bit of Jordan, and I want to see if what I remember is what you remember, and so on and so forth.
Hey man, Jordan's my cousin, so
which
tell him I'm tired of eating. You tell him that I'm tired of eating out of.
I try. I can't even get a hold of him. So
I'm just kidding. Food
He's
City,
not my cousin. He's not my cousin in real life, but yeah.
I'm trying to go eat like he eat. You know what I'm saying? Get me a shelf.
He eating good right now.
I know he is.
I think right now he's eating calamari, maybe some filet mignon.
Calamari goes under the category of just because you can doesn't mean you should. But,
makes it a little sushi.
Yeah, I'm telling you, once Randy owns his team, you're just gonna start seeing a different Randy. He's gonna be like, "Do you have any great poupon?"
Yes, you having a great poupon, sir.
All I'm saying is, just give me a vegan sub. We'll be good to go. So
let's go, all the vegans out there.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We appreciate you listening, watching. Please leave a comment, like it, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will catch you in the next one. This is You Don't Know Jack. We are the Outsiders Looking In. My name is Chris Brown.
And I'm Hubert Maitland.
And I'm Randy Hard.
Peace. Be safe, be well.